Alright, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Kangaroothless, and I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. This will be the third out of 4 video that I will go ahead and cast from the replay pack sent to me by our Blue Zerg here. His name is aXa. It's a Blue Zerg. He is a French Master Zerg player who has a revolutionary strategy about getting out the right amount of Zerglings, or a lot of Zerglings actually, to counter those mid-game pushes, to sacrificing that economy to make sure that you stay alive long enough to do the damage that you can do late game. His opponent here will be TTgl. So, okay, not sure, but anyways, that's Red Terran. So we will call him Red Terran, probably. TT, we'll call him TTgl. So anyways, everything is pretty much standard here. I'm not going to spend too much time doing play-by-play since nothing is going on. And, here we go. The Drone Scout going ahead at 12. I've gone ahead and casted 2 of aXa's games so far. This will be the 3rd one I've casted within an hour. So I'm a little bit worn out. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, if I seem a little bit frazzled. It is because I've watched so many of these replays and I've not had a break, not even for snacks or water. Oh, I do have water. Oh, good. I love water so much. I think a lot of the issues that we come across as people is really because illnesses and just feeling irritable is because we're dehydrated. We just don't drink enough water. That's why I love water, especially when I'm doing casts and my voice gets dry. But let's go back to aXa's build. This is what we're really focusing on, not my love for water. aXa's build is centered around getting an army early and expanding safely when you have an army. So you expand under the safety of your army. The other thing that he likes to do is he likes to engage in the middle of the map with his Zerglings. He likes to control Zonaga caverns, Zonaga towers, and he likes to put the Zerglings on an attack path. And that's about ready. And as well as for his counterattacks as we saw in the last game, he likes to have about 20 Lings ready for a run-by at any time, so they are in a separate control group. And let's go ahead and back to this build. I have a couple other notes here, but we will worry about those later. aXa's gone for 15 hatch, we'll go for 15 gas, and I guess 14 pool. He feels that this build is safe against Terran on pretty much every map, except on maps like Securus Plateau, which are Terran and Protoss favored because they allow you to get a fast expansion and easily defend it. And that's really problematic for Zergs. A lot of Protosses, they go Forge Fast Expand or 15 Nexus, and Terrans will go maybe 1 Rax Expand into 3 Rax. There's not much Zergs can do about it. You can Baneling Bust or go for a Hydra Bust, but I mean, it's still like an all-in. So, unless you go for an all-in, your only other option is grab a fast 3rd, and that's just really tough to do. It's really susceptible to drops, it's really susceptible to a lot of things. So Terran is getting up his minerals quite a bit, and it looks like he will be throwing down his own command center. Very ballsy. Straight at his base, he's not going to worry about any Zerglings, and here's why. He has a Reaper on the way, so 1 Marine is sitting back behind this supply depot. We have a Reaper on the way, so we can expect, since the Tech Lab has gone down so fast, Blue Flame Hellions. And I would expect Mech to come out of this, because he's gone for that fast Tech Lab. Another Marine is on the way. His gas is getting kind of high. He should be throwing down a factory quite shortly, but he will instead get a bunker. Reaper will be clearing the Zonaga towers, making sure that no one is coming in to see what he's up to. Let's follow this Reaper and see what he can do here. He's going to go ahead and pick off one of the Zerglings, and this is what is so hard about Reapers early game, is they're so hard to kill. He's engaging this on the creep, so he will pick off 4 Zerglings, will pick off... No! Very good control by aXa. He's making that into a Vespene Geyser, but he might lose 2 drones. Oh, he only loses 2 drones, so great control by aXa there. Both queens were out just in time to prevent any further subsequent harass. So the queen will go out here and spread lots and lots of queen, because another queen is on the way. She can go ahead and do those larva injects. And he probably should have cancelled that, but it will go ahead as another geyser. Not the end of the world. Behind this, Terran has expanded, making that into an orbital, and still making barracks. Behind this, 3 barracks and a factory. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe he won't go mech. Maybe he'll go biomech. But I mean, he's getting 2 gas. He's got to be going mech. If you're getting 2 gas this early, I don't know. We will see. Fast Tim is on the way for Terran. Let's go and get rid of these names and look up the production tab. Fast Tim, more drones for aXa, and he's throwing down a macro hatch. This is a pretty good location. allow you to rally units a little bit faster. And look at that creep spread. Wow, just 7 minutes into the game, and it's already pushing out past this brush. This will be very nice. And now he's starting his Sim City. He's going to throw down 1 Spine Crawler and 2 Evolution Chambers and probably block off this part with the Queen. More creep teamers are getting spread out. These Lings will go to control the Zonaga Watch towers. And probably this Ling right here will go and see when what the timing of the third will be. Overlord's in a decent spot. If he needs to run in, he can. So we'll see if he decides to go and do that. This is a really smart thing that a lot of Zerglings don't do. When your opponent hasn't expanded yet, go hide your Ling. And then you can see whenever they expand, you can just go run over here real fast and then run back. But aXa right now is doing a fantastic job on this creep spread. I mean, just look how many creep tumors he has out. And this creep is just going everywhere. So he's going to do pretty well against any sort of aggression that Terran sends his way just because of that nice creep spread. +1 is on the way for aXa, and immediately making 20 Lings. He's 20 Lings, wow. He's also going to send in an Overlord just to see what Terran is up to. Let's see what he scouts here. He will scout the 2 barracks and the factory with the tech lab on it, so he can expect tanks to come out very shortly, or blue flame Hellions. This will be a Marine tank push, and Terran will go for combat shield Marines and that fast stem. But look where these Zerglings are going. They're just going out to this little corner right here. Why would he do that unless he wanted to go ahead and flank the army? So we will see. Once again, great creep spread by aXa. He's consistently done a great job at this. It's 9.5 minutes into the game, and aXa still has not taken his expansion. Terran's actually going to get his third started before aXa does. So kudos to him. Kudos to Terran. Let's look at the income tab. 43 to 39. So aXa's behind. And the income tab. This could be quite a nasty game indeed. But right now it looks like he's focusing a lot on that creep spread. That is really nasty. That's got to be scary to Terran. Whenever your creep spread is right outside their base, they got to be thinking, oh shit, now what do I do? But Terran will pick off 3 of those creep timbers, not canceled in time. And here comes this little push. But it's going to get surrounded, and now Terran is going to have everything cleaned up. These tanks will go down, these Marines are going to go down. There was nothing here. Terran just thought he was going to go out and have a push, but that's not at all what's going to happen. Actually, Terran is just going to kill everything. So aXa is going to send these Lings in here. This is not a good place to send your Lings, but he has plenty of Lings. He needs to send them to attack. Sorry about that little lag there. He's going to pick off this tank and going to pick off this bunker. Lings get this around before the tanks can do anything, before SCVs can repair. And now he's actually choosing to attack with these SCVs. I disagree with this. These Lings are just going to lay waste to these workers. And so really what he's done is he sacrificed economy earlier so that when Terran pushed out, he can just go ahead and counterattack. Right, here's the problem I foresee with this build. What if Terran goes for a macro and goes for a delayed push? Well, I don't know. But he's going to force this to lift off. aXa will have free reign over this expansion. And these poor Zerglings aren't being moved. Meanwhile, Sparrow is on the way with +2. And TTgl is starting his planetary fortress at the 3rd. But he's only on 2 base, so aXa's not doing too bad. He's not doing too shabby. He's going to go ahead and grab his 3rd expansion. And Terran will scout that the expansion has started. And as well, I mean, Terran's kind of far behind. He has no natural, and these Lings are all out on the map, and Terran is just pretty much stuck in his base. This is not where you want to be as Terran at this point in the game. You want to be out on the map, having your tank sieged, and you know, pretty much what you want as Terran is you want your tanks like right here, killing everything. But he can't do that. He can't afford to do that. Tank is going to siege up. And he's switching over to Hellions, so this is going to definitely go for, I guess, Biomech, but he has 3 factories now with it. Armory, we can expect Thors to be coming shortly, or at least mech upgrades. aXa is on 3 base. He could grab a 4th. He has enough to do that, but I guess he's just pumping out drones and Mutalisk. Let's look at the income tab. 53 to 35. He's doing pretty good as far as the income wars. So he will run around with these Mutalisks, and he should be harassing with these guys. But not much going on right now. So these Mutalisks are going to come in, scout, see what's going on, and see that not much is going on here. Do he have any missile turrets? He does have 1 missile turret. So now you can expect Terran to start making more and more missile turrets. He's actually supply locked. He's making 3 of these supply depots at the same time. Great creep spread again by aXa. I mean, the creep spread is pretty much at Terran's base. This is not a comfortable spot for Terran. So, let's look at the production tab. More drones, some Zerglings, and a couple of Mutilis, as well as Carapace, Zerg fire attacks. Does he have 2 Spires? Okay, double Spire. That is interesting. So a double Spire build from aXa. He's going to be able to ramp up those upgrades. You can expect him to go Brood Lords from here. If you go double Spire, expect one of them to turn into a Greater Spire very shortly. So these mutas will meet up. They do much better in packs. And a little bit of a drone transfer. Not much going on. Both players is macroing up. So let me get into the other parts of aXa's build since there's not much going on. aXa says that the Marines are a nice mineral dump for Terrans. They're cost efficient all game. I can agree with that. And tank support, so the main unit in question can be the Marines. And Marines are really the highest DPS dealer for the Terran army, so every Terran army should pretty much focus around Marine production, and it does. All good Terrans are really good at making lots of Marines and protecting their base. So, what happens when you make Banelings? Well, tank support actually shut down Banelings quite nicely if they focus fire. And also, if your Terran opponent can actually split his Marines up into nice little groups so that Banelings become less cost effective, it's really nasty. So, what about Blue Flame Hellions? Well, it's lower DPS but higher mobility, so they can go around and deny creep tumors, they can go around and press mineral lines. They're just really nasty all around. Really a nasty thing to have with mech. We do have a great layer on the way for aXa. +2 flyer attacks has begun, and it looks like he is going for +1 carapace. But hold that thought, this push is coming out. This is a nasty push. So how many times has this happened to you as Zerg? You have this nasty, nasty push coming out, and you don't know what to do with it. But you could just send a lot of Zerglings in. He's going to get a pretty nice surround. These mutas are going to come in and magic box, and they might be able to pick off one of these Thors. If he could, that would be big. He's going to pick off one of the Thors, but he's going to be forced to retreat with the other. But I mean, Terran has lost so much of his army. It looks like all he can do now is pretty much go and harass with these Hellions. So he's going to come in here and do a nasty amount. There is no blue flame though, so these harvesters will do quite okay. All he knows is keep them alive. But meanwhile, it looks like this Thor might get focus fired. He is going to get the Thor. Now he can start picking away at these tanks. So now Zerglings are going to do quite nicely. The Hellions have killed all the drones at this expansion, save maybe 4. So the Hellions finally do go down, but the damage has been dealt by aXa. I mean, there's not much left of this Terran push. A lot of times, Zergs have a hard time comprehending that when they shut down a push, especially if it's mech, it takes forever to rebuild. I don't like this attack right here. He's just going to lose all of his Zerglings. He's going to take out a couple of Hellions, but that's still not a good trade. So almost takes down 2 of these Thors. That would have been a big victory for him. But now we can see he is going for Brood Lords. Mutas at this point just are not viable with this many Thors, especially with the support of a lot of SCVs. And as well, I would like to see him transition into Roach production. aXa, meanwhile, is grabbing his 4th. Terran has 3 base still. Both players could afford to expand, but I think aXa wants to save a lot of his income. Finally, double Roach Warren go down, so it looks like he wants to get those upgrades out really quickly. He can totally afford it too. He has so many minerals and gas. So, yep, Brood Lord's on the way. Now there's not much going on. Let's go back to the analysis of what aXa's build is about. This is kind of a slower game, but I guarantee you guys the next game will be pretty insane. Looks like we have Tunneling Claws and Roach Speed on the way, as well as Burrow, so we can expect Burrow Roaches. That is a really nice counter to mech. So let's go ahead. Let's see. The problems with Mutiling Bling. Well, it works if your opponent screws up, right? So we talked about splitting your Marines and focus firing with your tanks. But if they don't screw up, if they micro just very well, then it's actually not cost efficient against this kind of an army. And Terran is going to try and push out again with this push, and he's actually going to do a lot of damage. And Terran's got to think, man, I just crushed Zerg. He's got to be sitting back here cowering in his little Zerg cave. But little does he know that aXa already has a Greater Spire finished. So these evolution chambers will go down. But here's the problem. Yeah, you killed the evolution chambers, But now what you have to deal with are Broodlords. And Broodlords are just nasty against any army with siege tanks in it. So this army will be forced to retreat. He's going to try and stem up in here with his Marines. But all these Marines are going to go down to these Broodlords. Great control from aXa. He does need to transfuse this Broodlord. But just look how much damage these little Broodlings do. Oh, they are so nasty. And let's look at the upgrades. 2-2. So 2-2 Broodlings do pretty nicely. And now that push has been done. That push was meant to kill. That was not a, hey, I'm going to push out and deal some damage, and then, later, it'll be alright because I'll just, go back to make my other army. No, that was a really nasty push. These queens are going to come up to transfuse these Broodlords. I feel like this is really underused late game. Just getting offensive queens with these creep teamers are just everywhere. So now the Broodlords will come in here. He does have a lot of roaches and Zerglings. Now Terran is really far behind. He's getting sieged at this base. He doesn't have any Viking production on the way. He is just now starting his 2 starports. So that's the problem. Terran didn't go for mech fast enough. He didn't go for Viking support fast enough. And now he's just going to get picked apart. So 3 Thors going down. The siege tank will go down, and aXa will just clean up the rest of this. So problem for the Terran opponent here, if I'm going to give criticism, I can here. He didn't have any Viking production. If you scout a Spire, and it's about 20 minutes into a game, you need to start making some starports for Viking production, because you can bet your ass that Zerg is going to go for Broodlords very quickly. So meanwhile, 4 Vikings are on the way for Terran. It's really GG. He's just delaying the inevitable. And SCV is not doing anything but getting picked off. These Vikings will come out. So 4 Vikings, let's see if he can do anything. He's going to pick off this Mutalisk and immediately start picking off more Mutalisk. But Zerg is flooding into your base with this many roaches. You're just in so much trouble here. These roaches don't even have that much damage throughput, but they're just doing so much work. So these Broodlords are going down. The queens are just too slow to transfuse them. Queens are finally going to be able to transfuse, but in the meantime, this entire army is getting destroyed. His entire base is gone. He's only on 2 mining bases. Terran's done. That's game. Zerg is on 1, 2, 3, 4 base. Could expand again here. And Terran is trying to auto-repair this Thor, but there's going to be too much DPS from these roaches. The Thor will go down, and now that roaches can get a better concave, so you expect this Thor to go down a lot faster. Thor does finally go down, and that should trigger the GG. And really, just picking apart those pushes, those naturally timed pushes, that is usually supposed to kill off Zerg. But because he had those Zerglings out in time and he was able to counterattack so efficiently, it really just won him the game. So this last Thor will go down. That should trigger the GG because there's nothing else. Nope, TTgl will not GG. He will just QQ and quit. So that'll do it for that game. And I hope you guys are enjoying these casts so far. Let me know if you'd like to see more, and maybe I can get some more from aXa. And as we saw there from that replay, aXa went for a pretty fast tier 3. He does prefer Ultralisk, but we saw Broodlords there, so maybe we'll see more Ultralisk in the next game. Next game, by the way, is very action-packed. I probably won't have much time to talk about any more of the strategy. So let's go ahead and get on to the next game. I'm going to go ahead and start casting it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. Once again, if you have any replays of your own to send me, please send them to kingruthless@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to cast your replays, especially if you've gone for some sort of groundbreaking new strategy out there. If you don't know how you lost the game, etc., go ahead and send me your replays. And as always, please comment, subscribe, rate, do all those things. I love seeing your comments below, even if they are just trolls. I love seeing that people are actually watching this and enjoying these. So anyways, that'll do it for this cast, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.